Good morning, this is Greg, N4KGL. I'm at the Gulf Islands National Seashore near Navarre, Florida. This site is known as Opal Beach. It has the Gulf on the south side, and it also has the Sound on the north side. I'm going to start out on the north side today. I'm doing the RaDAR Challenge, Rapid Deployment Amateur Radio. It's the first Saturday of November 2016, and so we'll be operating portable, and after I make 5 contacts, I'll walk at least 1 kilometer to another location. This is my first time at this location. The interesting part about it is there's no development on it except for a few pavilions, and it has salt water, obviously, and we're hoping to take advantage of the salt water with our amateur radio operations. So we're going to go out to the first site on the north side here, set up, and begin the RaDAR Challenge. This site, being part of the National Park System, is SS08 for national parks on the air. So I'll be getting credit toward activation. When I get 10 contacts, it will be activated. And there are chasers around the world, more or less, other amateur radio operators that would like to make contact with this location because they get credit for chasing. Alright, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, we're en route to our first location. Looking forward to the start of a 4-hour period here, and I'm going to try to get out on a point, which should be interesting. One thing I like, when you get to these parks early, you're pretty much the only person here, and it's like you own this at least for an hour or two before the others show up. So kind of good feeling to get out here and enjoy the outdoors and have the freedom to set up without too many questions about what you're doing. Alright, we reached our first location. It's something I saw on the map. It's a point out into the water, and we'll pan around, and I think you'll see that as far as salt water goes, it almost surrounds us here. This is our backpack. I believe we got everything we need to sustain us for 4 hours doing RaDAR. And these poles are for a Invis dipole that I'm going to put up here on this point for working 40 meters. The backpack also has out satellite antenna. That'll be the last thing I use in about 4 hours. And of course, the backpack has the Elecraft KX2 and my other supplies. So if I put everything in that backpack, it'll be all good. Time will tell. Alright, well, we are set up at our first location for RaDAR. We have a Invis dipole. That's the intent, and it's somewhat over the salt water, at least where it comes up to shore here. And so it's a 40-meter dipole. We're going to operate on 40. I use these little poles. They don't taper, so they're pretty nice. And here's the other end. So we usually try to get in contact with our friends in Panama City. That's 80 miles away. And the best approach for that, I believe, is NVIS. So this should give us some radiation at high angles. The salt water hopefully will be a reflector, and we'll be able to get back to Panama City. So I hope I am able to work a few of my buddies back there. Here's the KX3. It's running off internal battery. I got it set up for 10 watts. We have a little key here. It is the radio for portable operations. So we've been enjoying it very much. All right, an update. I was at the first location for about an hour. Seemed like it was 30 minutes before I had the first contact. But I had a very memorable contact. My friend Tom from Dothan, Alabama is visiting relatives in Birmingham, Alabama. And I worked him. He was running 5 watts with a random length antenna in the attic there in Birmingham. So Tom did not know. He knew I was out today, but he was not. He was in another QSO. I happened to come across him, so it was very enjoyable to have that contact with a friend of mine. And so we started on CW, and after 3 contacts we went to 40 sideband and finished out the 5. So we're on our 1 kilometer trek, pretty much back to where the parking area is, and we'll set up for our second location. All right, this is the second location, and we'll set up and do some pedestrian mobile here, and see if we get some good performance taking advantage of the saltwater effect. The path over the saltwater is to the north, the rest of the country, so that should work to our advantage. Alright folks, at the second location I've got the KX2 out, and as you can see, it's a handheld with a whip antenna. We also have a counterpoise wire, 13 foot long. So the whip's about 4 feet. There's a loading coil and then 13 feet of wire. We're going to get on 20 CW around 14.061. All right, we're winding up at the second location. It only took 10 minutes to get the 5 stations. In fact, we left several wanting to make a contact. Maybe we can pick them up at the next location. So we'll we'll be moving to the third location. Alright, this is the third location, which also is my first location, but it's kind of my favorite because I'm essentially surrounded by salt water, and we're going to try 20 meters single sideband, and we'll be pedestrian mobile, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay, thank you for the review. We appreciate it. 73, this is KGL USA Uniform Sierra Alpha calling CQ for National Parks on the air. Tango Romeo 08 and Tango Romeo 14.
November 4 Kilo Golf Lima.
The November 4 station again?
It's November 4 Kilo Golf Lima. November 4 Kilo Golf Lima. Pedestrian mobile.
Okay, I copy November 4 Kilo Golf Lima. You fell out. You're about a 5-5. So 5-5 when you're up. Please copy you in the November Echo. Tango Romeo 08 and Tango Romeo 14.
Alright, QSL. I'm also doing national parks on the air. We're Sierra 08. Sierra 08 in Florida from N4KGL. Copy?
Okay, I copy that. Sierra, we need a number. The number, go ahead.
Alright, Sierra 08. The number part is 08.
Okay, I copy Sierra 08. Is that QSL 08?
That's a QSL. We appreciate the contact and good luck with national parks on the air.
Okay, we copied. We got it all. Thanks a lot for the call. We appreciate it. Have a good day. Good luck.
Alright, bye-bye.
Gulf Islands National Seashore, Sierra 08.
Alright, W4VIY, this is N4KGL. I'm also at Sierra 08. I'm at Opal Beach. So we may be at the same park here. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're in the Florida unit by Fort Pickens.
All right. Well, I'm over here not far from Navarre, and we appreciate the contact. So we're Sierra 08 and QSL, you're Sierra 08. Thank you very much.
Okay, good luck. And 73, this is Whiskey 4 Victor India Yankee, CQ National Parks on the air. CQ National Parks on the air.
All right, I'm set up for the SO50 satellite pass. I should get an advantage with having a nice view of the horizon there. So we'll see what we can do. Well, it's 2:30. That completes the 4 hours for the RaDAR challenge. I was also doing national parks on the air. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is probably one of the best locations to do RaDAR you can find at Gulf Island National Seashore. And we operated 40 meters, used the Invis antenna, and I was able to work my buddy in Birmingham, Alabama, and he's my buddy from Dothan. He was visiting Birmingham. He didn't have internet. He just generally knew I was out there, but I found him in QSO with someone else. He was running 5 watts with an attic antenna. So that was my most memorable QSO. We wrapped up 40, moved to another location, did 20 meters CW, pedestrian mobile. It only took 10 minutes to get 5 contacts. We had a little bit of lunch, and walked back to this location, which was the first and the third. And at this location, we got on 20 sideband. I couldn't get a string of contacts going, but I was able to search and pounce several other national parks on the air stations, including one at Fort Pickens, which is also SS08. I also worked a DX station, I think PJ4 Lima. And to top it off, I did the SO50 satellite pass. I was able to squeeze in one station, KK4 FEM, and that should count for the radar satellite bonus. So enjoyable time with radio, enjoyable time with radar. We want to thank Eddie ZS6BNE for coming up with this idea, and we look forward to the radar challenge in April. All right, 73s from N4KGL.